Hello, hockey fans. The season is getting close. And this is the third of my four divisional previews. I've covered the Atlantic, I've covered the Metropolitan. Now it's time to cover a division that is pretty near and dear to my heart, the Central Division. Oh, I love this division. It's the black and blue division. I call it the Division of Doom because my Avalanche are in it and dealing with a bunch of powerhouses. Literally everybody is good. So, what happened in the Central Division last year, and what do we have to deal with? Well, there's a Stanley Cup in that division, but I'll get to that a little bit later. Um, Nashville won that division last year, but they got beat in the first round. However, in a crazy surprising move, I'm still kind of taken by this. They traded PK Subban. Subban is gone. He's in New Jersey, but they lost a good defenseman, a great defenseman. They got a good scorer in the form of ex-Avalanche player Matt Duchene. And I heard this and go, oh my God, they have Duchene. Are you kidding? They're not dangerous enough as it is. Nashville has been on a tear. I'll say tear ever since that 2017 when they shocked the world and swept and dominated the Blackhawks at the best record in the West. They've been kind of a juggernaut powerhouse since then, but they haven't won. That's the thing. And even though the NHL is wide open, it like all leagues is a solutions oriented league. You need to win because if you're that strong, you have that many players, but you don't get a cup, something's up and some heads are gonna roll. None haven't yet, but that grace period is closing. And that's Nashville. Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets also went on a rise. Of course, Winnipeg Jets, of course, originally the Atlanta Thrashers debuted in 1999, and for their entire lives they hadn't won a playoff game, let alone a series. But it was in 2018 that they finally won their first playoff game and had a magical run all the way to the conference final, where they were beaten by the expansion Golden Knights. Because of that, the Jets had expectations, but they came up short against St. Louis. So what happens? What happens now? With the Jets? The Jets are definitely going to be a force. They're going to be a force for a good bit as long as that core stays together. Well, they did lose some of that core. I think if I remember hearing correctly, Jacob Trouba is now a Ranger, but they still got the core players. They still got Buckwood, who did take a leave of absence. So they got Wheeler. They got all those. They got all those good players. They got Connor Hellebuck as their goalie. He's still rock solid. The Jets are going to be kick ass. St. Louis. I wanted to say them for last, but I couldn't. St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. Oh my God! I'm still, as an overall hockey fan, I'm still kind of giddy over the Blues finally getting over that hump. I mean, they were a hard luck team ever since they came into the NHL in 1967. Okay, they reached the final in their first 3 years of existence, but never won a final game. And then last year, and then of course the woes continued. The woes continued in 17-18 when they blew a chance to playoffs and got eliminated on the original final day by the Avalanche. But then, and then entering last year, and last year entering the new year, they had the worst record in the league. But thanks to a man named Jordan Binnington and other key players such as Jaden Schwartz and Ryan O'Reilly, they went on this big winning tear. They made the playoffs, finished third in the Central, beat out the Jets, beat the Stars in a 7-game thriller, beat the Sharks, and defeated the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup finally for the first time. Now, when you win a cup, you got nowhere else to go but down. The only thing you can do is match it. And I think they do have the players to kind of match it. But you know who else has the players? You know who else has the players to kind of make trouble for the Blues? The Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche are on a rise here. Okay, we had that bad season, that bad 16-17, and then a year later we make the playoff. I still, to this day, say we were not supposed to get in. I still think we were not supposed to get in the playoff. I think we were supposed to make a big rise, but I kind of think we were going to fall about a little bit short. And I think this last year was supposed to be the uprising. Instead, the uprising began a year earlier, and we went toe to toe with Nashville and fell short despite going sixth. But last year, we won a series for the first time in 11 years, and we gave San Jose fits in that second round. Came within one win. We were this close. Came within one win of our first conference final appearance since '02. And we have the players. To get it. Nathan MacKinnon, a beast. Mikko Rantanen, a beast. Our captain, Gabe Landeskog, another beast. And we're getting more beasts. We got Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. We got Nazem Kadri. Yeah, he's kind of a playoff train wreck. He's had back-to-back suspensions, but he's damn good. We got Jonas Donskoi from San Jose. Can you believe the talent we got to go with the? Can you believe the talent we acquired to go with the talent we already have? Now I've stuck to my story. We're going to win a cup in the next 3 years. Will that be this year? It depends on the team. But let's move on to Dallas. My goodness, Dallas. You know, they had some in-house turmoil with their owner GM blaming their two best players for them not doing well. Yet they made the playoffs. They beat Nashville, and like the Avalanche, they almost made it to the conference final. And now they got Joe Pavelski from San Jose. Pavelski was the heart and soul of the Sharks for years, and now they got him. Pavelski is a very dangerous player. So the Avalanche fan in me is like, oh my god. You know, all of our rivals are getting these stalwart hot players now. It's ridiculous. I said the Central Division is going to be more dangerous than it already is. And then there's Chicago. Now the Blackhawks are a fascinating team, but they've kind of gone down a bit. See, the Blackhawks were the most recent dynasty. You know, they dominated pretty much most of this decade, winning three cups from 2010 to 2015, a 6-season span. But they've fallen off a bit. It all started when they got swept by Nashville. In the last 2 years, they've missed the playoffs. They finished in last place 2 seasons ago. They didn't last year. That was Minnesota. I'll get to them later. They still have that core of Kane and Taves. And they have Duncan Keith, who's getting old, but he's still kind of good. They got Eric Gustafson. He's been pretty good. He was good for me and my fantasy team last year. But the Blackhawks, they're good. They're a playoff team, but will they make it with everybody else improving? With Nashville still being great? With Colorado rising? Will they make it? I don't know. And then there's Minnesota. Minnesota missed the playoffs. That to me was a surprise. Minnesota is always in. You know, the Wild, even though they finish in last place, they're dangerous. But I just love that whole division as a whole. Because I remember when that division was formed in 13-14, I'll be honest, I didn't think the Avalanche, as an Avalanche fan, I didn't think the Avalanche would survive. But the team finished in first place that year, and that to me told me, we can hang with these powerhouses. But there are my three burning questions. And number one is easy: will the Blues repeat? Will the Blues repeat? That is a good question because repeating in the NHL is difficult. Okay, only one team has done it in the last 20-some years. And nobody has won 3 straight in over 3.5 decades. The NHL is a wide open league. So, can the Blues repeat? Yes, they can. Will they? No, they won't repeat. And it's not because they're not good. It's because, like I said, the NHL is wide open, and good teams strike at hot, opportune times. It happens every year. So, no to the Blues repeating. But that doesn't mean they're not good enough to. Okay. Number 2. Will the Avalanche at least get to the final? I'm trying to be objective. Here. Because the Avalanche fan in me says, with this team, we can win the whole thing. But from an objective point of view, from a objective point of view, I say this team is. I see the Avalanche are good enough to go real deep. Round 3, conference final, even cup final. But winning it, that's nothing. I still say the next 3 years. This year, I'll let the overall predictions coming up in a couple weeks tell the tale. But we are definitely good enough to make another deep playoff run here. The Avalanche of yesteryear, who kept making it every year, we're back. We're back, baby. Uh, the third burning question, it just now came to me: is this Nashville's last chance? That's kind of. I mean, yeah. Well, it's kind of too soon to say last chance, even in this wide open NHL. I mean, I've seen teams win the cup and then fall flat the next 2 3 years. The Ottawa Senators came this close to making the final in 2017, but 2 years later, they're trash. So is this Nashville's last chance? Well, the history of parity in the NHL says yes. But is this really? I don't think it is. As long as they got those great players, and now they got Matt Duchene, they got a great goalie in Pekka Rinne, no, it's not their last chance. Only an idiot would say it is. So, yeah, that's my preview of the Central Division. Central is going to be beastly. I look forward to it as an Avalanche fan. And I'll preview the Pacific next week. So, until then, hi.